Ladies and gentlemen, the Bills schedule came out. Let's take a look at it. Starting off with a absolute banger game, week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. Sunday night football. What a way to kick off the season. The Bills, they beat the Ravens last year in the divisional round. I expect an absolute thrilling game in week 1 this go around. Again, this is going to get our blood boiling early on in the season, week 1. We'll see how McDermott fends off the Ravens again. This Bills offense hasn't really improved too much. The Ravens have improved their defense, but the Bills have also improved their defense. Again, this is a pretty crucial game early on in the season. But if the Bills happen to lose that one, or if they win, either way, they're moving on to week 2 at MetLife, a Sunday 1 o'clocker. I know a lot of people are kind of, homesick. They want those 1 o'clock Sunday games back every single week. So here's one early on in the season. Again, a very winnable game for the Bills. The Jets haven't really improved too much, barring any last-minute changes. Moving on to week number 3, back at home in primetime, Thursday night football against the Miami Dolphins. This is becoming a new trend, it seems. Bills, Dolphins, early season, Thursday night football. We'll see if that continues into next year. But again, should be a very fun game. And Josh Allen seems to own the Dolphins. We'll see if that continues this year. Moving on, we stay at home for 2 more weeks now, starting with week number 4, Sunday 1 o'clocker against the New Orleans Saints, another very winnable game. Then we move on to week 5, Sunday night football against the New England Patriots. And this is a Patriots team that's going to be fighting for a wild card spot this season. Newly acquired wide receiver Stefon Diggs returns to Buffalo. That's the big storyline. But will he be playing in this game? Maybe, probably not. Again, coming off that ACL injury. They said he's been way ahead of schedule, so I don't know. Again, I'm recording this way before the season. I have no idea if he'll play in this game. Right now, probably not, but you never know. Moving on to week number 6, Monday night football. More primetime for the Bills. This one is a 7:15 start, so I would assume that means it is a doubleheader on that Monday night grid. And it is in Atlanta against the Falcons. The Falcons, again, a team that could give the Bills a run for their money. We'll have to see. Again, I'm not making any predictions this video, just kind of, speculating whether these will be good games or not. And I think this will be a good game. Early bye week for the Bills. Week 7 is their bye weeks, and coming right out of the bye week, a very winnable game in Carolina against the Panthers, Sunday, 1 o'clock. So, no shenanigans this game. This is pretty much a must-win for this Bills team. You cannot be giving a game away to the Panthers. Then we move on to week 9, and here we go. This is probably the first one I have highlighted and bookmarked. I mean, there's some good games, maybe that week 1 game, but this is a big one. We have Sunday, 4:25 at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills seem to own the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. Then we move on to the playoffs, and the script flips every single time. I'm mentally preparing myself for this game already. Moving on to week number 10, we go to Miami for the second divisional matchup against them. Just a Sunday 1 o'clocker, nothing too special there. Then we come back home to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sunday 1 o'clock in week 11. Couple 1 o'clock games in a row there, but there we go. We're back to prime time in week 12, Thursday night football in Houston. Again, that Houston Texans versus Buffalo Bills game last season was just rage-inducing to the extreme. What a crazy game that was. The Bills just looked lifeless the entire game. Almost managed to come back at the end and win despite that, but they were unable to. So maybe the Bills can get revenge in Houston this year. Moving on to week 13. This one, an interesting start time, 4:25 in Pittsburgh. Again, the Bills versus the Steelers. There's not a whole lot of recent connection between the two teams. I know they had a couple Sunday night football games, if you go back like 3, 4, 5 years ago, something like that. But again, these two teams, not necessarily a rivalry. A 4:25, maybe a standalone game. Very interesting there. Then we move on to week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. This one's a 4:25 game, and this one makes sense, right? These two teams have playoff, I guess Pittsburgh, the wild card matchup too, I guess it makes sense a little bit, but at least with the Bengals, there's a little bit more of a rivalry there. I think Bills fans more despise the Bengals than the Steelers, and I think the same way on both sides flip towards the Bills as well. So this one makes sense for a 4:25 start. Moving on to week 15, this one, a 1 o'clocker in New England, pretty routine end of the season game in New England. Then we move on to week 16, a 1 o'clocker in Cleveland. This game, again, the Browns have really just fumbled their franchise away a couple times in recent years. We'll see what they can do this year, but by this point in the season, you would expect the Browns to have some backups in. You never know, though. Maybe the Browns make the playoffs. Who knows? Again, way early. We're just looking at the schedule. Week 17, this one, very surprised. It is this late in the schedule. A 4:25 game at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending, reigning Super Bowl champions. I don't know really how to feel about this one. I was kind of thrilled to see this game at the end of the schedule because by this time, maybe one or both teams have backups in, resting for the playoffs. At least one of these two teams probably should. So hopefully this game doesn't mean a whole lot because that Eagles team is pretty scary, and that defense is no joke. Moving on to Week 18, the last game, TBD and TBD home game against the Jets. Again, could get flexed to a Saturday game, could get flexed to later on in Sunday. Most likely this will be a Sunday 1 o'clock game. So there's the Bills schedule for this year. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What game are you looking most forward to? Are there a couple of games that are tied? For me, it's that Week 1 game against Baltimore, that Week 9 game against Kansas City. We move over to the other half of the schedule. I mean, of course, that Houston game is on my radar as well. Definitely that Cincinnati game, and then potentially the Eagles game if that game means anything. But let me know in the comment section. Leave a like on this video, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and we will have a predictions video out later in this week. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.